Young cat got back, did a little bit. Now we hardy, puffy, tough, do-rag and Tim's. Kinda hard to get a job back out on the block. Charge that to the game. Young girl, she grew up in a rush. Had it bad, no doubt. She don't know who to trust. Every man she ever loved only wanna crush. Charge that to the game. But it's all great.
Good afternoon and welcome to Expose Under the Sun, brought to you by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I'm Sharon Dumas and I am your host. I am very excited today to have someone here, a friend actually, to talk about her business, Miss Indy Allen. How are you, Indy?
I'm doing well, Sharon. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. You know, I just had my 35th anniversary and you did the decorations for me, and you do weddings. So, and we have some examples of some of the centerpieces that you have. Tell us about your business and what you do.
Well, I started my business roughly a year and a half to almost 2 years now. And we do all type of events. So I do enjoy weddings because that's where I get to display, my talent the
Right.
most is weddings because it can be as grand as you want them to be. But we also do baby showers and birthday parties, so from the low end to the high end. And I've just been still learning and growing and growing and just, yeah, it's just been awesome. It's been an awesome experience so far. But
Well, it
yeah.
looks like you have a natural talent. I know that you took some things that were real simple and made a beautiful centerpiece for our debutante ball, the one that's right there in the center. And a lot of people were talking about it. You know, sometimes you can take a little of nothing, and you can take a little of nothing and make it into something. So, and you did just that. I know that there are a lot of theme parties as well. Do you do theme
I
parties?
love theme parties. Those are my favorite.
Oh, okay.
So I actually have a denim and diamonds thing coming up in the next 4, 5 months, and I'm excited about that. But theme parties are my favorite because you could just play around with the idea of if someone give me an idea, I bring it to life.
Well, you did that for us, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You told me what you wanted, and you wanted me to put the focal point in the room because of all the books and the things that was in the glass case, and I think I achieved that pretty well because no one was looking at the displays on the wall and the flags and the books. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and we customize a lot of centerpieces and tablecloths and chair covers.
This is beautiful right here.
Yeah, this is a piece that I brought that's in our inventory, and I feel like in this business you have to offer something to set yourself apart from the others. So I really don't focus so much on what the others are doing. I try to focus more so on what I'm doing, and that's one of the things that I like to do is provide custom pieces. So
Right.
when you give me your vision, I customize it, and I make a lot of the centerpieces myself according to your vision.
Oh, okay. When is wedding season? Is there a winter wedding season, or is it always in the summer or
I just
spring?
had a wedding reception 2 weeks ago. It's not as popular as spring and summer, of course, but I'm finding that a lot of people are getting married in the fall, winter. I even got married in the fall. I got married in September. But I I find that a lot of people it's getting more and more popular, but it's not nowhere near as popular as summer or spring.
I'm sure the weather has a
But
lot to do with it, though, right? Yeah.
yes, definitely. But so far, winter, we've been having some awesome winters where a lot of brides are not afraid to get married in the cold because it hasn't. We've been having great, awesome winters these past couple years. But yeah, so weddings are all year round. But again, spring and summer is quite naturally is the most popular.
So I know that you are affordable. Your prices are affordable, so I won't ask you exactly what the prices are. But maybe if you gave a range, because if there's someone out there that's actually getting married in the spring or summer, then it would be great for them to give you a call. And then I noticed that a lot of people use chair covers now, where before they weren't as popular, but now they're very popular. And I know you have some exceptional ones. So can you tell us about what a bride normally needs, like a bride package that you do?
Well, actually, right now I'm running a special for $999.
Okay.
And it consists of up to 150 guests.
Oh, okay.
And it includes your linen for your tables, your chair covers, and your centerpieces, as long as it's nothing that's extremely tall or I don't do live flowers. If you need live flowers, I have florists that I have a vendor basically that I use for floral arrangement, but that's an additional cost because live flowers are a little more costly.
Right.
But you know, the candles and the vases, those type of centerpieces, nothing. A lot of brides try to keep their budget low because centerpieces can get very pricey. If they have 20 tables at $25 a table, that's
Right.
pretty pricey. So I include the centerpieces so they can have something affordable, like maybe $10 to $15, where it's a candle with maybe silk flowers inside on a mirror, something really simple. I can't, because centerpieces, it can be anything. I try to tap into the bride's personality and what it is that she really would like. So I don't have a standard centerpiece. We'll customize it. Like for the bride my last wedding, we customized her centerpieces and she loved it and we kept the cost low. Well, anyway, so the chair covers, sashes or bands, tablecloths, and we do decorate the head table, gift table, and cake table.
All that's included in the $1,000?
Correct.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
So I'm
pretty
running
good.
this early bird special is what I call it.
Okay.
I'm running this special until February.
Mhm.
So a little more than 30 days left to take advantage of it. And I only ask for a third down.
Oh, okay.
I usually ask for my payments to be a third, a third, a third.
Oh, okay. And so that's affordable and very workable. You know, a lot of people, thank God, even younger people are starting to get married.
Yeah.
And so to be able to do a third is really good, you know, when you talk about the cost of everything else along with what you're offering.
Yes.
Can you
yes.
give us your contact information?
Well, my phone number, this is directly to me. It's 248-707-0542.
And repeat it one more time.
248-707-0542. And my Facebook page, business page, is Trendy Events by Design.
Can you spell that for us?
Yes, it's spelled TRINDI. Events.
Okay, and that's your
By
Facebook
design.
page. By
Correct,
design.
By design.
All
I
right.
added the by design to add in the fact that I do customize.
Oh, okay.
It's just not an ordinary event. We will customize it in some sort of way.
Okay. And I know that when you did the event for us, you actually had different size linen. Can you tell me why that's important? It was something about how long they were and that.
Well, tables run different sizes, and it's the same as tablecloth. So it's very important that you know what type of table that you're using going into the event. So you have your 60 round, your 70 round, and so when you start getting into the 90-inch rounds or the larger round tables, you want to make sure you have at least 132-inch tablecloth. If it's a formal event, so the tablecloth can go directly to the floor and cover up the legs of the table. They consider that a formal look. And then 6-inch table versus an 8-foot table. You just have to know, it's very important to know what size tables you're working with so you can bring or display the correct tablecloth.
Yeah, I didn't know how important that was until you showed me
Yeah.
the difference in how the room looked showing the table legs
Yeah.
versus not showing the
It's
table
very
legs.
important. And it all depends. Some people don't mind. There's tablecloths that runs like 108, which is 108 inches. It doesn't necessarily hit the floor. And a lot of brides or clients, they're okay with that look. Because the 120s and the 132s, of course, they cost a little more. They typically rent anywhere between $12 and $15, where 118 or a 108 would run anywhere between $7 and $10.
Oh, okay.
And that's standard.
Okay. And so with your special, how many tables would that be?
That's roughly 18 tables.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 18, 19 tables.
Great. And then with the linen color, are you able to match up with the bride as far as the colors really well? Do you offer a lot of colors with that?
We offer a lot of colors. Whatever your colors are, we will accommodate you on your vision, your color, if you have a theme, Paris theme, or whatever your theme is, we will accommodate your theme in some sort of way. We will sit down, have a consultation, and talk about what your vision is. It's so important, in my opinion, to capture someone's vision, especially for your wedding. It gives me the best joy when they walk in and they see their setup for the first time and they start crying. That's the biggest compliment. And I get that almost every time, hands down, or they're just mesmerized on what we did.
That's good. And I notice now that they're using bands for the chair covers more than sashes.
Yes, well, it's just
They're gorgeous too.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, they're easier to put on for sure.
Right,
So
right.
it cuts down on the setup time. But to me, it's a nicer, elegant look. Some some clients are old-fashioned where they just like the bows or like the sashes, and we can accommodate that too as well. But it's just a preference, a matter of taste. And the
Right.
bands, I like the bands, but I do the sashes as well. Some clients just dead set on having the sashes,
Right.
and I'm okay with that too.
If you have a question for Indy, you can call the number below or 868-0342, 0351, or 868-4336. Now, the difference in the sashes and the bands that I've noticed, I mean, up until you did our show this year, the sashes, when people sit down, sometimes they drop down, and then sometimes they're not always tied exactly the same. So when you showed me the bands, you know, I'm old-fashioned, so I was liking the sashes.
Yeah.
But then after using the sashes, I found that I liked it better because they seem to stay in place a lot better.
Yeah, and I think what happens with that is, again, going into the situation where you don't know the size of the chair. So because it's spandex, it could give a little,
Right.
and to prevent that would be to go to the location prior to, just to make sure that the chairs aren't wider or slimmer where the band won't fit as tight.
Right.
Because there's so many different type of banquet chairs and chairs.
Absolutely. And another thing I noticed were the actual chair covers are different.
Yes.
Instead of them just being draped over the chair, there's something about them attaching to the legs of the chair,
The spandex.
the spandex ones.
So those are the newest and greatest thing for event planners because again, they're easy to put on and it cuts down on setup time. It's easy to just slip the spandex chair cover on and attach it to the bottom of the legs to keep it nice and tight
Right.
versus putting on a cotton or a silk chair cover and it tend to get wrinkled. So what I've learned is the time it takes, because you have to,
Right.
you don't want to put on wrinkled chair cover, so
Right.
it's time consuming. You have to iron. I had an event this past summer of 200 and she just had to have the silk chair covers. And so, they call them more, so they have like a silky texture. They're not polyester. And so I had to iron all 200 and hang them in a certain way because that's my pet peeve, wrinkled chair covers. So I
Yeah.
have to hang them the long way to keep them from getting wrinkled, and you have to transport them. And so a lot of event planners, they really don't like working with those type of chair covers anymore, and that's why you see a lot of the spandex now. You can wash them, dry them, put them in a tote, carry them,
Right.
put
And
them
easier to
on,
handle.
and then the time to, it just cuts down on time.
Right. So, what kind of tips would you give the bride and groom out there about putting the wedding together and this part of it, making sure that their decor is what they want it to be?
One of the biggest tips that I would give is to know your budget. A lot of brides come to me, they do want the glitz and the glam, but their budget, they come and they like, I want all the bells and whistles. But then when you tell them, well, this would be an additional cost, it will cost this much. They want sequins, backdrops with, the higher end tablecloths. So to know your budget is very important and be realistic about it because we can customize any package to fit whatever budget, but we need to be realistic and not have any surprises. And then you don't want to disappoint the bride when their budget is low, working with a $500 budget, but they want all the bling.
Right.
So to me, that would be one of the biggest tips. And then also to stick to your guest list because that really throws an event planner off when you tell them, well, I only want 100 guests. And we're planning for 100 guests. And at the last minute, sometimes the bride will call you days before the wedding and say, oh, we RSVPs,
Right.
our RSVPs, we have 50 more, 75. Well, to an event planner, you have to plan for extra centerpiece, extra tablecloths. So it's
Right.
good to know and stick to your guest list or the number of guests that you plan on having.
I know I want to interject here is that when I give events, they always ask me what my budget is, and sometimes I'm kind of embarrassed. So I don't want to tell them the budget, but because how you explained it, it's better to know up front.
It is
so
better.
that way you can do something to fit within that budget, and then you kind of add on from there.
Yes, because a lot of event planners, if they know going in, then they could say, well, Sharon, this is what I could do for you for this amount. And you'll be surprised. But it's
I
just.
was. Yeah, I was.
Well, you're a personal friend, so you get a really good deal.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
But that is important, even
Yeah.
if it wasn't me, to give somebody a realistic expectation of what they can get for their budget. That's like house shopping.
Right.
You're working with 100,000, but your vision is a 200,000. Well, that's
Right.
not realistic for the realtor. So she'll be showing you all the stuff that you actually can't afford.
Right. And another thing I appreciated was that the price that you gave me, you exceeded that. And even though we know each other and all that, it's still business. It's strictly business. And you didn't commit to anything that you couldn't do. And sometimes people do that. They'll say, okay, this is what I can give you for this amount of money. But so maybe it was $1,000 package, but I only have $750. Then they only give me $650 worth of work.
Yeah.
The quality of the work is not there. And I just feel like if you tell me, it's $1,000 package, and I expect you to do the $1,000 package and not
Yeah.
under what I actually paid you. And that's one of my pet peeves.
Well, one of my, I don't want to say downfalls, but I just have this big old heart, and it gets in the way sometimes.
Right.
Because I am a female, and I'm a woman who's been married, and I know what that feels like for your wedding day.
Right.
And so that tends to get in the way. And then while I'm decorating, I'm like, oh, we got to do this. And so that gets in the way a lot, but I really, really want a bride to have a good, beautiful wedding.
Yeah.
For me, that's what it's about. So if I can do something extra or add just something a little extra to make it that much more beautiful, I'll do it.
And we thank
And
you
that's
for
what I
that.
did for you because
Yeah.
I knew how important your event was to you. And I knew you didn't ask for the crystals that we put on the table, but I wanted your event to be really, really nice.
Right. It was exceptional. And then that one centerpiece where my photo was in the
Yeah,
glass
I
and
surprised you.
right, on all the VIP tables.
Yeah.
And then it looked like it had water in it, but it wasn't. And then it had the plants or
No,
something.
it was water.
Was it
I
okay,
had
with water.
in there.
So that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
When you're
It was
doing
translucent.
oh, okay.
Paper.
Right. Okay.
So I was able to the translucent paper.
Okay.
So I was able to put water in there.
Give your contact information again for us as we're closing.
248-707-0542, and that's directly to me.
And the name of your business?
Trendy Events by Design.
All right. Thank you so much, Indy,
Thank
for
you for
coming and being
having
on the
me.
show. You've been watching Expose Under the Sun, and we'll see you next week. Happy holidays.
Yes.
I'm fabulous. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy. I'm fabulous.
Young cat got back, did a little bit. Now we hardy, puffy, tough, do-rag and Tim's. Kinda hard to get a job back out on the block. Charge that to the game. Young girl, she grew up in a rush.